Hello, lovely people. Tracy from Tracy's Learning and Coaching here. I wanted to join on from the last video I made. So the last video I made, I was talking about self-perception and that it's not real. So I talked about a situation in my life, always mine, where something happened to me that made me think I wasn't a very nice person, and I ran from myself and ran from my truth. So I was telling you that I was pushed into having sex at the age of 13 because the person in that at that time said to me that if I didn't, he would break both my arms. So the young girl chose. I did choose. I didn't say no. I chose to say yes. I didn't say yes, I just didn't say no, because I did obviously to start with, but I when I was threatened with breaking both my arms if I backed out, then I chose to continue and didn't scream rape and didn't tell anyone. So the reason I didn't tell anybody, because I was really ashamed of myself. My parents had told me to keep myself nice. Not sure what nice meant, but I wasn't nice, and so from that point I ran from myself. I ran from myself. I ran from the truth. I just knew. I knew I wasn't very nice because I was a whatever. So loads of you have sent me messages which are really nice. Told me that they think I'm very brave for speaking out. Send me love hearts and hugs and things like that, which I really appreciate, and I do really appreciate the sentiment behind that. But I would categorically like to say I wasn't brave for saying that happened to me, because I should have no shame. Why have I got shame for something that somebody else has done to me? A 13-year-old girl was told, if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to break both your arms. So I had sex with somebody, my fault? Should I have any shame? Should I have any fear about speaking up? If you go, oh my God, what a terrible person she is because she had sex at 13, because somebody, well, actually, if you make that judgment about me, but if you make a judgment about me because that happened to me, well, to me that says more about you than it does about me, So therefore, I'm not brave. I am just a person that is able to say, hey, this happened to me. This happened to me when I was a child, and it led me to feel this way about myself. There's no bravery in that. Just I am who I am, and that happened to me, and it led me to believe that I was a terrible person and I didn't like myself. All the perception after that runs along behind that belief. I am not very nice, so therefore I behave a certain way. I see people treating me the way, they treat me, so I behave badly, people treat me badly, therefore I have proved that I'm not very nice because these people don't like me. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy all the time. And that spirals and the circle goes round and round. I behave badly, people treat me badly, proving I am not a nice person. So thank you for your messages and love and feeling that I'm brave, but I actually don't feel that I am. I am just more able to say it because I have no shame. I did have shame, but I have no shame now. So the things about your perception, this isn't about me. I've just used that as a way of bouncing ideas about with you, really, because you are the most important thing here. I'm not right making these videos for me. I'm making them for you. So your perception of yourself, how was it made, and is it really real, or is it all make believe? Is it all you've made that perception about yourself because of something that was out of your control. So I work a lot with people that have been abused, and for some reason people who have been abused feel like, well, they were partly to blame and it was their fault, and they should have spoken out, they should have said no, they should have told someone. You know, how can that be somebody that, how can that be the victim's fault? You know, if that was happening to your daughter or your granddaughter or your grandson or somebody you know, would you say, well, that small child should have spoken out, that small child should have said no? No, it's got nothing to do with the child. You know, anybody that mistreats anybody, it's not the victim's fault. The victim is left with feelings that they could have done something or should have done something, and that makes them this type of person because they didn't. But actually, in reality, if somebody mistreats you, is it the victim? Should I feel ashamed? Should you feel ashamed for being the victim? Or should the person that created the situation feel ashamed? So that's my perspective. I don't think I should be blamed or feel shame for something that happened to me that I had no control over. Do you feel, this is feel free to message me or leave comments, because the comments, people can have a discussion, and it would be lovely to have a discussion where people are actually discussing this. Is it the victim's fault that happened to them? Should they have done something else? Should they have, behaved differently? Did they know how to behave differently? So that's my point in that. So when you have a perception, everything about you, so if I think, oh my God, people don't like me, I might either ingratiate myself and, oh, please be my friend, oh, I need a friend. And that makes people not like you, because nobody likes that either. So, or, I don't think people like me, so if I look down and don't look at people, then perhaps they won't notice that I'm here, and therefore I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends because I don't look up and smile, right? So your perception of who you are makes you behave a certain way. If you behaved a different way, people would treat you a different way. And I'm not talking about the actual abuse, because that was the thing that's created this. But it isn't real, because somebody made you feel like that. Somebody made you believe that it was your fault, or that you can't do anything about it. That's where they want you. They want you in that victim status, because that means they can continue. And if it was your child or your grandchild or your friend's child or just the kid next door, is that the kid next door's fault that that's happened to them? And how is that kid going to grow up? How is he going to behave towards people? And how are they going to behave? People are going to behave to them. We take notice of 7 things at any one second of our time. We can only take notice of 7 things. So you're listening to me, you might look at the background, you might hear kids in the background, or you might hear somebody in the background, you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you don't take notice of everything that goes on around you. You only take notice of a very few things that are going on around you. And what your brain chooses to take notice of is what is important to them at that point. So if you have a belief system that says, wow, you're amazing and you're wonderful and you can do anything you want to, then what happens then is that when you see somebody looking at you, you think, oh wow, they want to interact with me, let's go and talk to them, hi. Whereas if you're underconfident or if you have self-loathing, then the way they look at you is different. It's exactly the same. How you perceive it is different. And that is what's not real. Your perception makes you feel how they feel. And actually that's not true. So, the victim is not to blame. The way you perceive yourself comes from your past. It's not real. perhaps you were nicer than you actually imagine. And if you get, I mean, how many of people say that you're wonderful, or you're nice, or you're kind, or you're thoughtful? Do you actually ever hear that? Oh, you're such a nice person. Do you hear that? Or do you hear, well, that's not true. They don't really know me. So the perception, you have to take stock. And as I said in the last video, why have you learnt that? Is it real? Are you just a victim? And then perhaps you need to start thinking about yourself and how you perceive yourself and how you perceive how others are treating you in a different way. So, little quick one, but thank you for your comments and thank you for your thoughts. Not that brave. I just want to say that, it's not always you. Okay, so let's have a conversation. So rather than messaging me directly, thank you so much, and if that's the way you want to do it, then that's absolutely fine, but leave a comment. Is the victim ever to blame for the things that have happened to them, or actually are people just treating them badly and we end up believing that it's us when actually they should behave a bit differently? Whatever you do today, have a great day.